So obviously over the weekend, Drake had what, like an hour long live stream on YouTube. This is basically the beginning of the album release, is what it seems like. The rollout. Um, it starts off with him inside of like this company called the Iceman. It's in Toronto, and basically what it is like ice, refrigerant, all this like all this other stuff. And he's just in there, and then it pans to him. He's walking around, he clocks in, sits down at like the break room table, heats up his food, has his coffee. Uh it pans up to the TV that's in the room, and it's just an old video of him from I don't even know how long ago. It was right when he just started, and he's in the city of Toronto. He's like out in front of the store, and then the next clip is him um, at this show. He's like rapping on stage. Pans back to Drake. Um, Screen says technical difficulties. Next is like Drake in the ice box, basically in the building that he's at. And What Did I Miss just starts playing. Oh no, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It's his backyard in his Texas crib with all the guns pointed at him. And then it pans into him in the ice box, basically just like rapping along to this new song. Um, it was pretty sick. I mean, that's obviously not the end of the stream, but like, just wanted to see what you are thinking up to this point.
Up to honestly, as like the entire thing in general, like if I hate like the lazy approach that Drake has taken to like album rollouts like over the years. Like I just think it has been like very like lackluster. He's clearly a creative guy. He clearly has a ton of resources. At some point I was always like kind of like yearning for him to like do something not like this. I think this plays, obviously. Like
Yeah,
I'm not complaining about it in any way. I wanted him to continue to evolve an album where it's like more of a story that's being told than like just the music. So out of everything that has happened up to this point, like if we have somehow, if the situation has somehow like pulled a creative side out of Drake, I'm completely okay with that. I think that this is probably his most creative surprise rollout for an album ever. I don't remember anything else like this. I know that he had like I loved what he did with the 21 Savage stuff where they did like the deep fake, but that was like such a one-off and it was so short and simple that like it was like I really love that. I just would have loved maybe like a full rollout like that. And it was kind of like tease the idea that he was capable of something like this, but it wasn't like fully fleshed out. This feels like a first part of a very fleshed out like album rollout.
yeah. I was going to say that the 21 Savage and Drake album rollout. Honestly, I don't think it needs to be this drawn out thing. I think I liked that it was only like a couple short of like the deep fake videos. I thought that was plenty. Um, I think sometimes it can get too much, like too long of a rollout to the point where it's like, okay, you've been rolling out an album for 3, 4 months now. Like, when is this actually going to come out? I think that part of it can get kind of annoying sometimes, because usually the thing that comes to mind is, okay, here's step one of the album rollout. I feel like we should be getting it within the
I
next
disagree.
month. Do you think it should be
I can
longer?
I completely disagree. I think any opportunity that we have to like have like more content come from like an artist outside of just the music itself is like a plus. Like any content that Drake has is going to put out, and if it's going to be like as high like value as like that was, like I will take that every day of the week over like an album because we get to have a full creative rollout with like all of this cool ass shit that we can always go back and watch, as well as like an album. So for me personally, I just disagree because it's way more content, like way more content within like this piece of music that he's about to release, and I appreciate it.
Well, well, I'm looking at it like this. Sometimes it feels like album rollouts get drawn out because it'll be one thing, and then we won't get the, the next piece of the rollout for like another month. I think I like it better if even if we were to still get the same amount. So say this was part 1 of 4 and then the album drops first week of August. I'd rather get them in like almost consecutive order week to week, maybe a week off somewhere in there, rather than having one video come out every 2 months or so, or month and a half. I
Yeah,
don't
I
I
think
think
that
that
like
part of it is too drawn out for me sometimes.
yeah, I think
I want it to be a little more concise.
you're probably like referring to like ASAP Rocky, who like is acting like what he's doing is like an album rollout, and he's been saying that he's going to drop an album for 2 years. So
Yes,
I think
yes.
that like
Stuff like
yes,
that is what is annoying.
I think that there is a happy medium to this, but no, I don't want just one thing from Drake like this. I want way more personally.
Yeah, that's very fair. But yeah, I was gonna, like I said, I think the 21 Savage videos that they did prior to that album was great. Um, but then the rest of the stream is pretty much just him driving around in the Iceman truck in Toronto. You hear the radio playing, and you hear there's speculation going around about what the song's potentially called. Supermax deal, something along those lines. He drops a line about talking to Taylor. Taylor Rooks posted on her Instagram story. Um, I think like means that it was her that he's talking to in that song. But people are just like running up to the truck. He's just driving through downtown Toronto. Um, I thought it was cool. I really enjoyed it. And I thought the other song that he previewed was pretty cool too. And then he just plays just like some random, like I think he played a song from I'm drawing a blank on his name. He sings "To Maza" with Drake.
Smiley.
Yeah, he played like a song off of Smiley's album, and I can't remember what it was, but I can't say I really listened to the Smiley album outside of the one song, anyways. But yeah, I thought it was really cool, and I am excited now that we're finally entering that first phase of this album rollout. I think the video was called like it was chapter 1, Iceman or something along those lines. So I'm excited to see what else comes from this.
So I saw a clip from Joe Budden today, actually, that made me completely rethink and switch my stance on like everything that has been going on with this said beef up to this point. Because in the song, he calls out some people like YG, Mustard, Ty Dolla Sign, DeMar DeRozan, LeBron, Tyler the
Yeah,
Creator, every all these people who were at the pop-up concert, and whoever he felt that he needed to call out. I think maybe Future he said something about as
indirectly.
well.
Yeah, yep.
And people automatically started to run with the idea of like, oh, like Drake just won't let this beef go. Like he won't let this beef go. And what Joe Budden and they all said on that podcast was like, I think Drake did try to let the beef go. Like I think that he was fine at peace with the fact that like he had the hit dropped on his head and that was that. But then what happened from there was like Kendrick never let the beef go. Like Kendrick was the one that did the performance in the Super Bowl. Kendrick was the one
Yeah,
that did like the pop out concert. Kendrick was the one who went to Toronto and performed Not Like Us and like did all that stuff and did like this like victory lap, like this long stretched out victory lap of like kind of like dancing on Drake's grave. So I think that like I think that my perspective has changed on it where I'm like, man, I really want Drake to step away from this beef. I think he has. Like I think he's full like he dropped Sexy Songs for You, which is it do I like that album? No, not at all. But I think that was him dropping an album being like, I'm done with this beef. Like, I'm not even thinking about it anymore. I'm dropping a R&B album on Valentine's Day for the bitches.
Yeah.
So with Party Next Door. So I think that like him addressing it now and whatever he decides to do at this point, because it's clearly not going to be over, I think he's fully justified in it, honestly. And I think probably before I saw that clip of like Joe Budden and them talking about that, I think I probably would have been on like the opposite side of things, just because I haven't thought of it like that. Like, I haven't thought that like, wow, Kendrick did really go on like a full victory lap tour and like try to like dance on Drake's grave. And it felt like pretty over the top and a little drawn out. And like now it's just like the only thing that I want to see from Drake at this point is just like continue to make good music, continue a strong album rollout, and whatever he decides to do at that point, like I can deal with, because he's going to stand on business at that point and put out, like I said, I wanted him when this all happened. I was like, I want Drake to tuck away, go away, and then come out with a really great project. He went and put out that Sexy Songs for You, which, like I said, it wasn't for me, but it feels like this solo project was even though he had that music ready to put out, and he did, it feels like he has taken his time on this solo project that he is now starting to, I mean, it's probably not even done yet, but like he's starting to put the teasers out that like he is rounding into form, and this project that he's working on is like almost done.
Part of me, as crazy as this will sound, I'm going to play devil's advocate here in favor of Kendrick Lamar. What was Kendrick Lamar supposed to do if that whole beef he led into an album coming out? What are you supposed to do when the most popular songs on that album are Not Like Us, and I don't even know what the other one is. Like, I feel like if you're going to go on tour and perform those shows, I don't even know if you want to consider it a tour or if it's just like a handful of pop-up shows. But
you're right. I mean, you are right, but it did feel like going into Toronto and doing that felt over the top. Doing the pop out like the pop out concert was legitimately like dancing on Drake's grave. Like that was like
that
a televised event. So I agree with you. Like, yes, he had to perform that song. That song was maybe the biggest diss ever made, like in rap history.
Yes.
So I'm not like sitting here saying that he wasn't supposed to perform that. It just, the manner that it was done in his city at the pop out concert with Drake's friends, etc., all of that, that's where it feels like, okay, like if Drake feels a certain way about how he handled it after it was all said and done, then I think that he's fully justified in handling it however he sees fit.
Yeah, and I mean, I also hope that this, like the few lines that we heard from the song that he came out with are kind of just like him almost being like, okay, this is what happened. This is how I felt, but like, I'm not starting this beef up again. Like I'm ready to just actually get back to making music and like,
I think it's
not
far from
about
over.
it.
I do think it's.
I hope it's over, because I don't know. I'm getting tired of just like seeing about it.
Yeah.
I don't think it's like worth it anymore. I think Kendrick took his victory lap and made whatever his album is, his silly little album, and that's that.
Well, you can't say that it was. Let's stop. I don't like Kendrick. I don't like Kendrick as much as you.
I know.
It's like the shit
I don't like Kendrick.
Like Brady. I know. That's what I said. I don't like Kendrick just as much as you. I said.
Oh, okay.
Like it's like the Brady situation where like Brady was like dumbfounded that like Kendrick like was like a top 5 listened artist in the world on Spotify. He's like, he's only a big rapper on Twitter. It's like, no, like Kendrick actually has like one of the most streamed songs of all time on Spotify, and he's like he's like a globally recognized artist. So as much as me and you don't like Kendrick and in his music, Kendrick is the biggest rapper in the game. It's like him and Drake are undoubtedly, like, I'd say, on the same
he's
playing
up
field
there
as of
100%.
right now. So
yeah,
they both
I
have,
was just trolling.
yeah, they have the same amount of like critically acclaimed albums, like songs. They both have like those big spikes in like streaming and the whole nine. So they're both extremely successful artists. It's just like, do you like a blue raspberry Jolly Rancher, or do you like a green apple Jolly Rancher? Like, I'm probably gonna pick the blue raspberry because it tastes better. No Diddy.
Yeah.
I don't know why I just said that. I don't know why that was the analogy that came to my head. So I do, like I said, Drake makes music more tailored towards like what I like to listen to, pretty much. And we grew up in the era of like Drake probably made more music for like white kids when we were like in high school. So like that's what we rocked with when we were like from the ages of like 16 to 22 when he was like at his peak, or like 13 to 22 when he was at his peak. So it's just, yes, we probably have a slight inclination towards Drake, but shout out to Kendrick as well, because if this video catches any sort of thing, you just have, it turns into a race war, being like, up two white goofy boys like talking about rap. It's like, shut the fuck up.
I just spit it. Good girl, we're getting paper as a passion. Collect the stacks and bring it back, man, and take vision.